My boyfriend cheated on me with our friend. She called him after a year because she is emotionally distressed. I don't know what to do. My boyfriend got a call from one of the girls he cheated on me with. She was one of my best friends and literally the person who introduced my boyfriend and I. She was friends with both of us before we started dating. I obviously told him to cut off contact with her if he wanted to continue dating. This was a year ago. Today she called him apparently in emotional distress at the hospital. I was there and didn't get to hear exactly what was going on. She just turned around and asked me if it was okay if I helped her. I asked her what she wanted and she didn't even say an exact method to help her, just that she is in distress and if she called me it must mean she has no one. How? First of all, there is a difference between being her emotional support and like asking her for an Uber home from the hospital. I feel complicated for saying this, but I don't care. I don't care even if she was my best friend. She caused me emotional distress when she chose to betray me and I am just as angry at her as I am at him. I told my boyfriend to do what he thinks is right, and he thinks this is the right thing to do. I think he nearly wanted to go pick her up, but he knows there's no way I'm going to be in the same car as her. We're driving together right now, so he's going to ask her for an Uber. But I'm still pissed. And she asked me if I was okay with it. Honestly, I feel like breaking up with him just because of the way he's driving, but I don't know if I'm overreacting. Help. Edit. She called back and I made her put him on speakerphone even though he didn't want to answer the phone. He tried to just tell her that they can't talk anymore before she could say anything, but she interrupted him to tell him that he ABBA * her son when they were teenagers. Now this man is crying. Comments. 1. She's not overreacting. She is hogging it. She should respect your boundaries without taking the blame on you. OP, right? The taking the blame on me thing is something she does often, lol. When I told her to stop talking to her, she decided the way to do it was to text her, "Hey, Lamotion said I can't talk to you anymore," which is really awkward because she and I used to be friends. I honestly didn't stop her from helping her today because I thought she would tell her directly that she didn't want me to help her. 2. He's not taking any responsibility. You know what he should have done is cut off contact with her without you having to ask if he was serious. He is unsympathetic or unwilling to help you heal. You either have to treat him like a child through this or keep your distance until he understands what it takes to maturely handle reconciliation. 3. You are exerting your power over him. Rubbing it in his face. Unless a plane full of his friends and family recently crashed and he died, she should be calling other people for help. OP, I hadn't even thought about it like that. You're absolutely right. Now I'm furious and I'm going to be stuck on a car ride with him for the next 5 hours. Answer, wait for what? Have they driven to the hospital to get an Uber and then drive home? And that trip is taking over 5 hours? Didn't he have anyone else around? Ooh man, I would be sick to my stomach with rage. I'm so sorry you are going through this. 4. He obviously hasn't cut off contact with her. There is very little chance she called him out of the blue after not talking for 1 year. They just took their communication subway so you don't see it. If you are looking for a smoky something, this is one of the best examples for that. You told him no contact and he went over that boundary. This alone is reason enough to kick him to the curb. The fact that he decided to help her is just icing on the cake. I believe he is still having an affair with her. Eventually it was reduced to an emotional one, but this is still going on. OP, honestly, now that I've read your comment I think you're right. He has answered the phone with a, "Who is it?" But based on his patterns I know he wouldn't delete her number from his phone. He doesn't do anything to make me feel comfortable and safe unless I spell it out for him directly and demand it, lol. I feel like she might have said that to make me feel like they don't talk anymore. 5. Yes, no one responds directly with "Who is this?" You say hello and then ask who it is if you don't know their voice. This was 100% for your benefit. It definitely sounds like you have been in contact all this time at the very least. I can't understand why he answered the call when you were sitting there. 6. Sounds like a serial cheater to me. And how low do you have to be to have sex with your partner's best friend? OP, the worst part of it all is that she introduced him to me knowing the history he had with her. After finding out he cheated on me, he confessed to me that in high school he slept with her and made her think he wanted a relationship with her and then just stood her up. I have no idea why you would introduce your best friend to a guy like that. I would never want to be with a guy like that, but yet now I'm attached and in love and I can't force myself to leave him. And I don't understand why she would introduce me to a guy that she clearly has feelings for. And he is absolutely a serial cheater, lol. 7. Once he realizes you feel so in love that you're trapped, he will drive without brakes. Love yourself as much as you love him. You can love someone and do what's best for you. I have been there and had to leave for my own emotional health because they just weren't good for me and are not willing to be in a relationship that was healthy or do the work to make it so. I still love that man and he loves me, but we had to part ways. He tells me he was not a good man and I had no business being with him. But when I left him, he told me how wrong and bad I was to leave him and that he was being a good man to me and his family. He's a different guy now, but he wouldn't have changed if I hadn't left him. He's with someone else now and that's okay. It took me a while to be emotionally strong enough to let him go and do it. You can do it. 8. Why are you still entertaining this man and his circus? 1. He's not prioritizing your relationship or your feelings. 2. Making you feel guilty and crazy for having reasonable boundaries. 3. He is still in contact with his mistress. 4. He has already failed at being a decent boyfriend by failing 1 to 3. Lady, you are beautiful. You are strong. You have lived most of your life without this man. You can do this. 9. You want my honesty? It will never go away. It will always be there and will always be a thorn in your side. Friendships like this don't end. She will find a way, a reason, anything to reach out to him. She will always have a nail in it. Luckily, he is a boyfriend and not a husband. There is no need for a divorce court. So if you don't see yourself doing this over and over again, or asking him to choose you and he keeps choosing her, walk away. Go. OP, you're absolutely right. That reason was to tell him that she had a miscarriage * when they were kids apparently. She called him later and confessed that to him. She literally said, "I lost our baby." A baby he apparently didn't know existed, and he cried for 10 minutes about it. The whole thing makes no sense to me. You're right, I need to go. 10. I agree with what others have said, she certainly didn't call him out of the blue for help today. He knew she was calling based on his weird, "who is it?" and he has almost certainly been cheating on you with her and maybe other people for the entire last year you were with him. What is she doing at the hospital? He wouldn't think to ask her that when she was on the phone asking for help. Weird. You can't trust him and the situation is extremely suspicious. I hope she's not having a miscarriage * or having her baby. Anyway, do you really want to waste these good years with a cheating loser? You will never be able to trust him and you will always be remembering what he did and wondering when it will happen again. I know you care about him, but he doesn't feel the same. Save yourself pain in the future by leaving him now. Good luck. OP, I'm shaking. She called him back and I had him put on speakerphone and she told him she had an involuntary ABBA * when they were teenagers. Now this man is out of the car crying.